Imagine a world where every single nation, from economic giants to emerging markets, is seemingly trapped in a colossal web of debt. We constantly hear about national deficits, ballooning treasuries, and the seemingly endless borrowing that defines modern governance. It's a pervasive narrative that paints a stark, sometimes alarming picture, a planet collectively owing trillions upon trillions of dollars. But then, a truly mind-bending question arises, one that challenges our fundamental understanding of economics and common sense. If every country is in debt, if virtually every government owes someone, then who, precisely, is the ultimate creditor? Who are these mysterious entities holding the IOUs for the entire global economy? Is there a single, all-powerful lender pulling the strings from the shadows? Or is the reality far more intricate, a complex puzzle of interconnected finance that defies such simple, singular answers? Prepare to dive deep into this fascinating paradox that underpins our modern financial system and unravel the surprising, often counterintuitive truth behind global debt.
The first instinct might be to imagine a super-rich nation or a shadowy international bank pulling all the strings. But the truth is far more decentralized, dynamic, and, frankly, fascinating. When a country issues debt, typically through government bonds or treasury bills, it's essentially asking for a loan from the global financial marketplace. So who actually buys these? Often, it's other countries themselves. For instance, China has historically held a significant amount of U.S. debt, just as Japan holds a substantial share, and vice versa in many instances. This creates a fascinating and intricate web of reciprocal indebtedness where you owe me and I also owe you, forming a complex global financial dance. But it's not just nations. Large institutional investors globally, such as massive pension funds managing your retirement savings, colossal insurance companies, and diversified mutual funds, are constantly looking for safe, reliable investments with steady returns. Government bonds, due to their perceived stability, fit that bill perfectly, making these often unseen entities enormous yet critical creditors.
While international creditors are certainly a huge piece of the puzzle, a substantial, often overlooked portion of a country's debt is actually held domestically. This is where the plot truly thickens and the concept becomes incredibly personal. Think about it. Your bank deposits, the money you've saved for a rainy day, or even your local city's pension fund, much of this capital finds its way into government bonds. Banks, for example, are mandated to hold a certain amount of safe assets, and government debt is often their top choice. This means that a significant chunk of a nation's debt is owed not to foreign powers, but to its own citizens and institutions. Your retirement savings, insurance policies, and investment portfolios are often directly financing your government. This internal dependency is a cornerstone of financial stability, but it also means that the health of national finances directly impacts the wealth of its own populace. It's an invisible thread connecting individual prosperity to national solvency. And then we arrive at the ultimate game changer, the central banks. These powerful, often enigmatic institutions, like the U.S. Federal Reserve, the European Central Bank, or the Bank of Japan, play a truly monumental role as creditors to their own governments. Especially in times of economic crisis or during periods of what's known as quantitative easing, central banks actively purchase vast quantities of government bonds. Why? To inject liquidity into the financial system, to lower interest rates, and to stimulate the economy. In essence, they are creating money to buy their government's debt. This unique ability makes them the lender of last resort and a massive, often the largest, single holder of domestic government debt. It's a mind-boggling concept. The government owes money to an institution it created, an institution that can literally print the money to pay itself. This dynamic fundamentally alters the traditional debtor-creditor relationship, giving central banks immense influence over national finances and economic policy. So, when we ask, who's the creditor, the answer isn't a single entity,
but a sprawling, complex ecosystem. It's a dynamic interplay between other nations seeking secure investments, domestic institutions like pension funds safeguarding your future, individual citizens investing their savings, and crucially, the omnipotent central banks acting as both market stabilizers and massive debt holders. This intricate tapestry isn't simply a collection of individual debts, it's a global financial web where every thread is connected. The implications are profound. Interdependence among nations, the delicate balance of trust required for stability, and the constant high-stakes dance of managing fiscal health without triggering a ripple effect. Is this system a precarious house of cards, constantly on the brink, or a remarkably resilient web that has evolved to manage vast global capital flows? The future of prosperity hinges on maintaining this delicate equilibrium, a challenge that continues to define our economic landscape.